political history, specifically this one I target Labour parties as. But the Supreme Court has been able to close this chapter of Abure issue. Like it or not, for Abure, whether he likes it or not, he is no longer the chairman of Labour Party, and an opportunity has been presented to Labour Party to find a way to get themselves together, if at all they could, because they are infested with multidimensional issues as a political party, Charles.
Well, has an opportunity been offered? I mean, you heard the deputy national chairman there interpreting the Supreme Court ruling in a completely different way.
Yeah, why I say it's an opportunity is whatever we may say at this point, it is at the apex court, Charles. At this point, the best they can do is to go back to the Supreme Court to interpret what the Supreme Court says. It can't go beyond that. This is the last cycle Abure and his team has. And let us not forget, not long ago, the Supreme Court gave the same declaration with regard to the PDP issue, i.e., the internal party structure issue is purely an internal issue. And therefore, I don't see the Supreme Court giving Abure any leeway to that. But they have a bigger problem than Abure, like you rightly said. The internal party democracy has been an issue. Because in my view, Charles, even though there are the good politicians, in Nigeria, the political space is infested by what I call political gallivanters, political mercenaries, and political jobbers. And to that extent, this will continue happening until those people that should be the vanguards, i.e. the political quote-unquote leaders in those parties, whether it is Excellency Peter Obi or Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and their likes, to be firm in first of all leading by example to entrench internal democracy, that may be the first step to having a proper political party that can even stand on its own, talk less of being an opposition. So yes, an opportunity has been presented to them as far as the Abure issue is concerned, but there are other chapters of issues for the political party to deal with. Some are fundamental, and then some are post-2023 elections, and then the days ahead will be very interesting because of what I said earlier.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but the best I can do for you is to break it down as much as possible.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
The Supreme Court has already ruled. As you said, this is not the first time that the apex court is ruling on such matters when it comes to internal affairs of political parties. You see, in politics, there's a lot of drama. There's in all this, shambles or whatever gamble you call it for 2027. This is what is happening. People are trying to position themselves, and we don't have actual or real opposition in Nigeria anyway. We are not, having a politics of ideology or that kind of politics where people are in politics because of what they believe in. Most politicians in Nigeria are deceitful.
They're in it for what they believe in, which is money.
Well, which is money, yeah.
And personal
exactly,
power.
And personal
power.
They
certainly believe in that.
Yeah, they believe in that, but it's not an ideology where
no, it isn't.
Exactly where people expect them. But anyway, the Supreme Court has spoken, and we expect the politicians to accept and respect decisions of not only the Supreme Court but any other court in Nigeria. And that is very, very important because internal affairs of a political party has already been a settled matter.